Arizona Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon recently jumped on an interview and talked all things Marvin Harrison Jr. Gannon explained how Marvin Harrison Jr. already looks in the 2025 offseason. Will Marvin Harrison Jr. take that year two leap? Let's dive right into exactly what Jonathan Gannon had to say about our year two wide receiver. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. But ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be diving into Marvin Harrison Jr., how he's looked like in the 2025 offseason, and is he primed for an absolute breakout season and a potential year two leap from his rookie year, now going into his year two? Now, Jonathan Gannon did jump on to an interview earlier, I believe it was actually a couple days ago, talking to Sirius XM. I believe it was Mad Dog Sports, and he ended up talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, there was a plethora of different conversations, but this specific segment really got me to focus in on Marvin Harrison Jr. because after the season has ended, there's a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans that were expecting a lot more from Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, whether that was the physicality to this game, sometimes it looked a little slow coming out of his routes, or maybe just the stat sheet, hoping that he was going to be able to break the 1K yards, and he wasn't able to do that, but he led all wide receivers in touchdowns. But let's dive into exactly what Jonathan Gannon, head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, had to say about Marvin Harrison Jr. so far in the 2025 offseason.
In place, the jump from year one to year two, I think that's where guys make a huge jump. And this guy played unbelievable ball for us. But if you talk to him, he'd be the first to tell you, like, I need to get better at these couple things. And, man, he has went to work on them, Adam. He has went to work on them. And he looks awesome out there right now. I'm really excited to see where his game goes, because he came up to me. I normally meet with guys about their developmental plan when we're done with the year. And when I had my meeting with him, he came up to me and he handed me a piece of paper. It wasn't me handing him a piece of paper. And it was just like that, but we knew that, you know what I mean? Like the guy's a ready-made pro. He does all the right things. He was here the whole off season. He skipped out 1 week. He went and trained with a bunch of different receivers, but he was here the whole off season. I think he added a little bit of muscle mass. He looks a little bit bigger. All his numbers, his metrics are all better than when we got him. I'm not gonna make, I'm not gonna speak truth into the universe, but just wait until this guy plays this year.
Woo! I'm ready. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the Cardinals. Let's go. Coach,
I love it. You got me juiced up.
Jonathan Gannon did not want to elaborate on exactly what he wanted to say, but one thing that absolutely sticks out is the fact that he said, just you wait this year. Just you wait to see what Marvin Harrison Jr. has in store for this Arizona Cardinals offense. And obviously that gets me super pumped up, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to do. Now, I get the criticism that has come into what Marvin Harrison Jr. has done in his rookie year, especially because you got 3 wide receivers after Marvin Harrison Jr. was picked, and Malik Neighbors, Ladd McConkey, and Brian Thomas Jr. They all reached the 1K mark, right, in their rookie seasons. Now, there was a lot of expectations for Marvin Harrison Jr., but just like Jonathan Gannon has came out and said, this man is a ready-made pro. Everything that you probably have, issues with Marvin Harrison Jr., either physicality, not being able to contest, those contested balls, or just kind of looks a little slow on some of those routes. He knows all that, right? He's going to go out there and fix it. He's a ready-made pro, and he's already in the ear of Jonathan Gannon with the things that he probably needs to work on and the things that he probably feels like he's gotten better at. Now, another thing that's obviously talked about is that he's actually put on some muscle mass. So that means that obviously from when he was drafted, he's been working out. He's in the lab, and he's trying to work his craft. He's trying to perfect his craft. So Jonathan Gannon truly believes that he's going to take that next year 2 leap here for a wide receiver. And honestly, that gets me super pumped up here. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Marvin Harrison Jr. I was one of those guys that truly wanted the Cardinals to jump on the opportunity to get him with the 4th overall pick. Now, here's the thing, right? There's going to be some people that are going to be criticizing what he's done in his rookie year. All I could say is just give him a little bit of grace, give him a little bit of time to get to the level that we all know, all the people that wanted him with the 4th overall pick, that we know we can get to, right? Has it been a little bit of slow when it comes down to his play style? Yeah, absolutely, right? I'm not going to come out here and say he's flawless, right? But he's definitely set to be wide receiver number 1 for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, another thing that a lot of people don't really talk about when it comes down to the numbers, whenever they bring Malik or Brian Thomas Jr. or Ladd McConkey, Marvin Harrison Jr. was sharing the reps with Trey McBride, which was the guy who cracked over 1K, one of the best tight ends, and no other team. Like the Giants don't have a Trey McBride. The Jaguars don't have a Trey McBride. The Chargers don't have a Trey McBride. So we also need to be cognizant to that as well. And on top of that, we are a run-heavy offense, right? In terms of how this offense operates, it's a run-heavy offense. So he's going to get less targets. And all the targets that he gets, he's going to need to be able to take advantage of those situations, right? So obviously, we've all been talking about potential drops, right? There's some people out there that have this narrative that he drops everything that gets thrown to him. That's not the case, right? You have seen some balls get thrown to him that are not really good, throws to his way. And then there's other things that are on the opposite as well, where he completely flat out drops the ball as well. So you also got to take into consideration that everything's a factor as to how his rookie season ended up coming about. So, I get we want to compare Marv to Malik, Brian, as well as Ladd, which honestly, at the end of the day, he's always going to be compared to those other guys, especially being taken in a very, very, very heavy wide receiver class in 2024. But honestly, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. has actually proved that he can work in the NFL, and he's going to take that next step here in 2025. And it's all uptick from here. Obviously, I hope Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray fix their chemistry issues or the communication issues, because that was another thing as well, in terms of they had this weird, communication issue, and that stemmed from the beginning of the season all the way to the end of the season. Like, maybe it got fixed maybe in the last 2 games, but it was the majority of the season, that communication issue. I'm just hoping that it actually gets fixed. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. also was there throughout the entirety of the offseason, with the exception of 1 week per Jonathan Gannon. And you have seen and heard some things that Marv and Kyler Murray most likely are going to be spending some time in the offseason. If they haven't already, they most likely will do it to try to get that communication and chemistry down to a T, because that is what we're going to need for our passing game to flourish, right? We need Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, and then hopefully Michael Wilson to take that next step to break out of that 500 yards from year 1 and year 2 to hopefully become a 700, 800-yard receiver. And I'm just really, really excited to see what the Arizona Cardinals could potentially do. But ladies and gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts here on Jonathan Gannon's most recent comments about Marvin Harrison Jr. putting on some weight? And he expects nothing but good things heading into year 2 from our young wide receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, he will be 23 this coming August, so a year older, more wiser. He now has, his feet under him, and he actually has mentioned that the game was a little too fast for him, right, at one point. So now hopefully it slows down for him in year 2, and all good things coming ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.